You know what? I just watched someone destroy their engine this morning, and they had no idea they were doing it. Winter is here, and I'm seeing the same 5 deadly mistakes every single day in this parking lot. And if you're doing any of these, you're literally throwing money away and cutting your car's life in half. Stick around because number 3 is costing you hundreds of dollars right now, and you don't even know it. I'm going to show you the right way to do this, and by the end of this video, you'll know more than 90% of drivers out there. Let's get into it. What's up, gearheads? Welcome back to the garage. If you're new here, I'm your name, and on this channel, we talk about everything you need to know to keep your car running strong and save money while doing it. Today, we're talking about winter car starting mistakes, because I've seen 3 people this week alone make critical errors that are going to cost them thousands in repairs. And look, I get it when it's -5 degrees outside. You just want to get in your car and go. But 5 minutes of doing the wrong thing can lead to catastrophic engine damage. Here's the thing most people don't understand: your car's engine oil gets thick when it's cold. Like, really thick. We're talking about the consistency of honey or even thicker depending on how cold it is. And when that oil can't flow properly, metal grinds on metal. That's wear and tear happening in real time. Every single cold start is the equivalent of about 500 miles of normal driving in terms of engine wear. So if you're doing it wrong, you're accelerating that damage exponentially. Alright, let's talk about the first massive mistake I see every single morning. And I'm willing to bet at least half of you watching this video are guilty of this one. It seems like common sense. It seems like you're doing the right thing, but you're actually making everything worse. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Mistake number 1: revving your engine right after you start it. I see this constantly. Someone starts their car on a cold morning, and immediately they're giving it gas, revving it up to 2,000, 3,000 RPMs thinking they're warming it up faster. This is engine murder, plain and simple. Here's why this is so bad. When your engine has been sitting overnight in freezing temperatures, that oil I mentioned earlier is sitting in the oil pan at the bottom of your engine. It's cold, it's thick, and it needs time to circulate through all the critical components: your pistons, your camshaft, your valves, all of it. When you start the car, the oil pump begins working to push that thick oil through tiny passages and up to all these parts. Now, when you rev the engine, you're forcing all those components to move faster before they have adequate lubrication. It's like asking someone to sprint a marathon before they've stretched. You're creating metal on metal contact. You're creating friction. You're creating heat in places that aren't properly lubricated yet. This causes microscopic scoring on cylinder walls, bearing wear, and over time, this leads to decreased compression, oil consumption, and eventually catastrophic engine failure. I've personally seen engines with 50,000 miles on them that look like they have 200,000 miles of wear just because the owner had this habit of revving it cold every single day. And here's the kicker: modern fuel injection systems don't need you to rev the engine to warm up. That was an old copyrighted thing. Your car's computer is already adjusting the fuel mixture perfectly for a cold start. So what should you do instead? Simple. Start your car and let it idle. Just let it sit there at normal idle RPM, which is usually between 600 and 1000 RPMs depending on your car. Modern cars will actually idle slightly higher when cold. That's the computer doing its job. Give it 30 seconds to a minute, then drive gently. Don't floor it. Don't accelerate hard. Alright, mistake number 1 down. Now, let's talk about something that everyone deals with on winter mornings: frozen windshields. And I'm about to show you the absolute worst thing you can do. Something that can cost you $500 in about 5 seconds. Mistake number 2: pouring hot or boiling water on your frozen windshield. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen this go horribly wrong. Just last week, someone in my apartment complex did this, and I heard the loudest crack. Their windshield split right down the middle. Now they need a full windshield replacement, and depending on your car, that's anywhere from $200 to $800. So why does this happen? It's called thermal shock. Your windshield glass is freezing cold. We're talking potentially 0 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. When you pour water that's 180, 200 degrees on it, you're creating a massive and instant temperature differential. Glass expands when heated and contracts when cold. When you heat one part of the glass rapidly while the rest stays frozen, the stress is too much and the glass cracks or shatters. And here's what makes it even worse: even if your windshield doesn't crack immediately, you've potentially created microfractures that you can't see. Those will turn into cracks later, especially when you hit a bump or when the temperature changes again. You've weakened the structural integrity of your windshield. But wait, it gets worse. Let's say you're smart about it, and you use warm water instead of boiling water. Guess what happens? That water hits your freezing windshield and instantly freezes, creating an even thicker layer of ice than you started with. Now you've made your problem worse, and you are late for work standing there with a bucket wondering what went wrong. So what's the right way to handle a frozen windshield? First, start your car and turn on the defroster to the windshield setting. Turn the heat up all the way. This gradually warms the glass from the inside, which is safe because it's a slow, even temperature change. While that's working, use an ice scraper, a proper ice scraper, not a CD case or a credit card. Start from the top and work your way down. If you've got really thick ice, you can use a de-icer spray. These are alcohol-based solutions that lower the freezing point of water and help melt the ice without the thermal shock. Pro tip: the night before a freeze, you can lift your wipers away from the windshield and cover your windshield with a towel or a windshield cover. I keep one in my trunk. Takes 2 seconds to put on, and in the morning, you just pull it off and you're good to go. No scraping needed. Trust me, spending $10 on a windshield cover or 5 minutes scraping ice properly is way better than spending $500 on a new windshield. Don't pour water on your frozen glass, period. Okay, we're making good progress here. 2 mistakes down, 3 to go. Now this next one is something I'm guilty of myself before I knew better. And according to the comments from my last winter video, about 80% of you are doing this wrong too. This mistake is costing you money on every single cold start. Mistake number 3: letting your car idle for 20, 30, or even 45 minutes before you drive it. Now, I know your dad or grandpa told you to let the car warm up for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And back in the day with carbureted engines, they were right. But unless you're driving a car from the 1980s or earlier, this is actually hurting your car and wasting your money. Modern engines with electronic fuel injection warm up much more efficiently when you're actually driving them gently rather than just sitting there idling. Here's why. When you're idling, your engine is barely working. It's running at low RPM, generating minimal heat, and it's taking forever to reach operating temperature. But here's the real problem: when your engine is running cold at idle for extended periods, you're not burning fuel completely. Cold engines run rich, meaning they inject more fuel than necessary. That excess fuel can wash the oil off your cylinder walls, dilute your engine oil, and create carbon deposits. Over time, this leads to reduced fuel economy, increased emissions, and more wear on your engine. Plus, you're wasting gas. At idle, your car burns about 1/4 to 1/2 gallon per hour, depending on engine size. So if you're idling for 30 minutes every day, that's 15 minutes of wasted fuel. Over a month, that's about 4 gallons of gas just sitting in your driveway going nowhere. At current gas prices, you're literally burning $15 to $20 a month for no reason. And let's talk about the environmental impact real quick. That idling car is pumping out unnecessary emissions. It's bad for air quality. And if you're in a residential area, your neighbors can smell it and hear it. Not cool. So what's the right approach? Start your car. Let it idle for 30 seconds to 1 minute maximum. This gives the oil pressure time to build and the oil to start circulating. Then drive. Just drive gently, no hard acceleration. No highway speeds yet. Keep it under 40 or 45 miles per hour for the first few miles. Your engine will reach operating temperature in about 5 to 10 minutes of gentle driving versus 20 to 30 minutes of idling. You can monitor this by watching your temperature gauge. Once it reaches the middle or normal operating temperature, you're good to drive normally. This method is faster. It's better for your engine. It saves you money. And it's better for the environment. Win, 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 win. Now, there is one exception to this rule. If you have a diesel engine, especially an older diesel, you might need a bit more warm-up time because diesel engines take longer to reach operating temperature. But even then, we're talking 2 to 3 minutes max, not 20. 3 down, 2 to go. You're already way ahead of most drivers out there. Now, let's talk about tires, because this next mistake can literally get you killed. I'm not exaggerating, this is a safety issue. Mistake number 4: driving on summer tires or worn out all-season tires in winter conditions. Look, I get it. Tires are expensive. A set of good winter tires can run you $600, $800, even over $1,000 depending on your vehicle. But you know what else is expensive? Hospital bills. body shop repairs, insurance deductibles, losses, your life. Summer tires are designed to perform in warm weather. The rubber compound literally hardens when temperatures drop below 45 degrees Fahrenheit. When that rubber gets hard, it loses grip. The tread pattern on summer tires is designed to channel water away in rain, not to bite into snow and ice. If you're driving on summer tires when it's below freezing, you might as well be driving on hockey pucks. I've seen sports cars with summer performance tires try to drive in even a light dusting of snow, and they can't even make it out of the parking lot. The wheels just spin. And if you hit black ice, forget about it. You have basically zero control. Now, all-season tires are better. But here's the dirty secret: all-season really means pre-season. They're a compromise. They're okay in spring, summer, and fall, and they'll get you through light winter conditions, but they're not great at anything. In serious winter weather, snow, ice, slush, they're just not going to perform like dedicated winter tires. And if your all-season tires are worn down with low tread depth, they're even worse. Here's a quick test. Take a penny, stick it upside down in your tire tread with Lincoln's head pointing down. If you can see the top of his head, your tread is below 2/32 of an inch and your tires are legally worn out. In winter conditions, you want at least 6/32 of an inch of tread, preferably more. Winter tires, on the other hand, use a rubber compound that stays flexible in freezing temperatures. They have deeper tread with more sipes. Those are the tiny slits in the tread blocks that bite into snow and ice. They're designed specifically for cold weather traction. The difference in stopping distance on snow between all-season tires and winter tires can be 30, 40, even 50 feet. That's the difference between stopping safely and sliding into another car. Now, do you absolutely need winter tires if you live somewhere that only gets occasional snow? Maybe not. If you're in an area that sees 1 or 2 light snowfalls per year and you can just stay home those days, all seasons might be fine. But if you're commuting in winter weather regularly, if you're dealing with ice, if you're in a hilly area, or if your region sees significant winter weather, winter tires aren't a luxury, they're a necessity. Here's my recommendation if you can afford it. Get a set of winter tires on cheap steel wheels. You can find used steels online for cheap. Then when winter comes, you just swap the whole wheel and tire assembly yourself in your driveway. Takes 20 minutes. When spring comes, swap them back. Your winter tires will last multiple seasons because you're only using them part of the year, and you're actually extending the life of your summer or all-season tires too, because they're not wearing down in winter. And check your tire pressure weekly in winter. Cold air causes tire pressure to drop. For every 10-degree drop in temperature, you lose about 1 psi. Underinflated tires have even less traction and wear out faster. Keep a good quality tire pressure gauge in your car. Your tires are the only thing connecting your car to the road. Don't cheap out on them in winter. It could save your life. Alright, we're on the home stretch. 4 mistakes down, 1 to go. And I saved one of the most important for last because this one causes more long-term damage than almost anything else. And most people have no idea they're even doing it wrong. Let me show you. Mistake number 5: neglecting your fluids, especially your coolant antifreeze concentration. This is the silent killer of engines in winter. And most people don't realize there's a problem until they're stuck on the side of the road with a cracked engine block. Let me explain how serious this is. Your engine's cooling system isn't just for cooling in winter. It's for preventing freezing. Your coolant is a mixture of antifreeze and water, and that antifreeze lowers the freezing point of the mixture. If your coolant is properly mixed at a 50-50 ratio, it protects your engine down to about -35 degrees Fahrenheit. But here's what happens over time: coolant evaporates. People top it off with just water instead of proper coolant mixture, or the antifreeze breaks down and becomes less effective. If your mixture is too weak, or if you've got mostly water in your system, when the temperature drops below freezing, that water can freeze inside your engine. When water freezes, it expands. Water expanding inside your engine block, your radiator, or your heater core can crack these components. And we're not talking about a small crack you can patch, we're talking about catastrophic damage. A cracked engine block is a total engine replacement. You're looking at $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 or more depending on your vehicle. Your car might be totaled. So what do you need to do? Test your coolant. You can buy a coolant tester at any auto parts store for $5 to $10. It's a simple float tester or refractometer that tells you what temperature your coolant is protected to. Do this test at the beginning of winter every year. If your protection is only good to 20 degrees and you live somewhere that hits 0, you need to drain some coolant and add pure antifreeze to strengthen the mixture. While you're checking coolant, check all your other fluids too. Your windshield washer fluid needs to be winter formula that won't freeze. If you're still running summer washer fluid with a freezing point of 32 degrees, it's going to freeze in your reservoir and lines. Get the winter stuff rated to -20 or -30. Check your oil level. Oil consumption can increase slightly in winter because your engine takes longer to warm up. Make sure you're not running low. And if you're in an extremely cold climate and you're running conventional oil, consider switching to synthetic. Synthetic oil flows better in extreme cold, providing better protection at startup. Check your brake fluid, power steering fluid if you have a hydraulic system, and transmission fluid. Low fluid levels can cause all sorts of problems, and these problems get worse in cold weather. Top them up as needed, and make sure you're using the correct type of fluid for your vehicle. Your owner's manual will tell you exactly what you need. Here's a pro tip: keep an emergency kit in your car with extra coolant, washer fluid, and a quart of oil. Also include an ice scraper, jumper cables or a jump pack, a flashlight, a blanket, and some non-perishable snacks. If you break down in winter weather, you might be waiting a while for help, and being prepared can literally save your life. The 5 minutes it takes to check and maintain your fluids could save you thousands in repairs and hours of frustration. Don't skip it. Alright, let's recap the 5 deadly winter car mistakes. Number 1. Don't rev your engine right after starting it cold. Let it idle for 30 seconds to a minute, then drive gently. Number 2. Never use hot water on your frozen windshield. Use proper scrapers and defroster. Number 3. Don't let your car idle for 20 to 30 minutes. 1 minute max, then drive gently. Number 4. Don't drive on summer or worn tires in winter conditions. Get proper winter tires, or at least good all seasons with adequate tread. And number 5. Maintain your fluids, especially your antifreeze concentration. If you avoid these 5 mistakes, you're going to save money, extend your engine life, stay safer on the road, and you will be way ahead of most drivers out there. Your car will thank you, and your wallet will definitely thank you. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button. It really helps the channel out. Drop a comment and let me know which of these mistakes you've been guilty of. I know I used to idle my car for way too long before I learned better. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos where. Thanks for watching, Gearheads. Stay safe out there on those winter roads, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.